Pleasure to have you here,
Hello,
Ryan.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Ryan, the body snatcher, Edmundson. Do you know what? I don't think I've ever asked you, where's this nickname coming from?
I was, given it by a couple of guys when I used to fight over in Wales a lot. So I was dropping people quite regular with body shots.
Is it just liver shots, like liver punches?
Yeah, whatever was going, I just, hands and legs were flying at them, and they just ended up calling me that. But I couldn't really embrace it.
Because I got caught by you several times, and they're pretty awesome. So you think it used to be you're like a signature?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it passed down into the students. Now they're
dropping
people with body shots as well.
Well, yeah, I've when I train with other gyms and we spar, I throw a lot of these, and people who know you as well, like Darren and Tom, they very often say, yeah. That's Ryan. That's Ryan teaching. That's Ryan teaching. Obviously, we have unprecedented time. I mean, the last few months has been absolutely crazy, and it has affected all the indoor gyms. I mean, it has affected me. I haven't trained for about 4 months now. So how has it, impacted you and your gym?
In terms of the gym, I'm just not working at the moment. Luckily, I received some money from the government to get me through.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not training. I can't get myself into a routine. It is difficult.
Have you put any weight on?
Oh, I used to be able to get to 67 kilos. I'm probably weighing about 86 at the moment. It's absolutely ruined me this lockdown.
67?
Yeah, I could get to 67.
That's just 3 kilograms more than what I am now.
Yeah, but I weighed in the day before when it.
Yeah.
But I looked like a skeleton.
Yeah.
Felt ill.
Have you been in touch with the rest of the gang, all the fighters? Have you? How are they doing?
Yeah, everyone's well, but I've kind of treated it as an opportunity to just reset my body and spend some time with my girlfriend. And
okay.
Because I won't get this time again. I guess it's all going to kick straight off once lockdown lifts, and it's back to the grind, isn't it? Really.
And it's going to be really interesting because I guess some fighters and some gyms they basically stopped doing anything, but some still carried on. So I think after the restrictions are completely relaxed, you'll see some of them coming back even stronger mentally than others.
Yeah, I think you do need that time to decompress, don't you? It's very full on.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good idea. We'll be talking a lot about mental health and sport later on. So you've recently signed a contract with they're called Suggs.
Suggy's Gym.
Suggy's Gym.
Yeah, he's managing me now.
Can you tell me a little bit about them and how you got to know the coaches there?
Yeah, well, I used to fight for obviously a gym in Bristol, and we had a couple of shows up there. I went and fought a couple of their guys, and just kind of got talking to them, and we arranged some sparring, and Dean would bring his boys down and had a little spar with them, and kind of just, with some people you just kind of click with.
Yeah.
And lots happened, which we'll go into as the show goes on. But I ended up in a place where it was, I'll give sort of one more go at it, and Dean's the sort of guy who doesn't need anything from you, and he's helping me as a friend.
Okay. So Dean is the father.
Dean's they're
okay.
Chad, Regis, and Bailey. That's the three brothers.
There's a proper fighting family. Aren't
they? They're just a family of animals. They're strong.
And I was so surprised because I when you told me that you're signing contract with them, I said okay, I'll look them up, and I knew of Bailey because I think he was at our Sheffield show. Yeah. So I met him there. I'm sure he won't remember me, but I met him there, and I looked him up because obviously he's a glory fighter. But when you told me about other brothers, and I saw, who did I look up? Chad.
Chad fought in Glory.
He fought in Glory, and he fought amazing fighters as well.
Yeah, he beat Grunhart.
Exactly, that's the one.
Yeah,
I mean,
really
that's a proper fighting DNA.
Yeah.
In this family, was Dean a
Dean
fighter
was a
as
world
well?
champion. Yeah. So it's just class breeding class, isn't it? You can't ask for more. And to go out there, you're in a room full of killers. They've got kids there that are just animals. There's like all these different ages. They're just hard.
And what best test of how your gym is doing than going around to other gyms and
Yeah.
trying to spar. I mean, that's what we did when we went to Holland, didn't we?
Yeah.
You, me, and Yash.
That was a good experience.
So we went to Holland for a few days, and we trained with Tatiana. She's the former Muay Thai, world Muay Thai champion, and it was brilliant. But what we found out that what you teach can automatically apply to any place in the world. And we sparred with a lot of guys there, and we did well, didn't we?
Yeah, I tell you, it was a humbling experience to be asked to teach her the next day as well. That was a big honour that was, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will never forget that.
And obviously, there will be a massive change in your life in a few months.
Mm.
You're going to become a dad.
Yes.
Do you think it's going to change you in any way? And obviously, not just as a person, but as a fighter.
Yeah, I don't. In terms of fighting, me as a fighter, I've always done it for someone. I've always done it to kind of please my trainer or make my family proud, or do you know what I mean? I've never done it for myself. I know that's a bit of a weird thing to say, but I've always liked doing it for someone. I don't like. It's a lot of struggle to just be selfish about it, isn't it? So I like doing it for someone.
Yeah, because when I think about fighting, I think of it as very selfish sport. So you train for you to get better, for you to be stronger, for you to be the best. That's a really good way of looking at it. You do it for others, to make everyone.
Yeah, I don't know
in your
why.
family,
It's just the way I am, I guess.
So rather than fighting for your coach, for your team, for your gym, you will be fighting for your.
Well, we'll see.
Boy.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
I don't know until he comes. I don't know what's going to happen to my
I think
brain.
the reason I'm asking is that because there is this theory that, whenever you were looking back at some of the films that I've watched and books that I've read, is that you have the Secret Service organization and they're looking for recruits to be their henchmen, and they're always looking for people who don't have any family, no relatives, no friends, because lack of this sort of attachment makes you very cold, a good fighter, good killer, and the day you become a father or a husband makes you a little bit softer.
So yeah, that's the other side of the coin, isn't it? You could see it as you don't want to get injured and you want to be able to provide, but my form of providing is to fight and is to teach kickboxing. So I just don't know. I don't know where my brain's going to go until he comes.
Yeah.
But I am excited. I can't wait.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's gonna. If it's gonna be Ryan Jr., whatever.
We're in talks about this. I'm campaigning for the name of Ryan still.
He's gonna be a beast. He's gonna beast. Okay, so let's start from the very beginning, because again, there's another theory that the best of the best fighters, they very often come from either poor backgrounds, some sort of unprivileged backgrounds. There's very often history of bullying. So the way to get out of it, they go to martial arts gyms and they become stronger to overcome it. Okay, was it the case in your life?
No, I didn't come from a sort of negative upbringing, or I always wanted to do it. That was my ambition. That was my goal. I wanted to be a professional fighter. That was it. I didn't want to do anything else, and it was always, you should try and get yourself a trade, and you should try and do this. And
was there any particular moment in your life when you saw someone fighting, or you met a fighter, or maybe someone from your family introduced you to kickboxing, any sort of martial arts, or
it was trying to find a club. So they'd say it's kickboxing. So kickboxing's a very umbrella term.
Yes.
Whereas you'll go to a kickboxing club and it's actually a taekwondo school, or it's a semi-contact club, or it's a karate club, because the full contact kickboxing was originally full contact karate. That's why they wear the long trousers. Yeah, it was always full contact karate. Wow.
Yeah, I had 2 fights in long trousers.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So what you did is full contact karate, then it's all changed around now. Kickboxing can be with the shorts on, doing low kicks. They've got the K1 rules, which is modified kickboxing, where you can grab a knee.
Okay.
But I never was able to find a kickboxing club, but then my brother did boxing at Broad Plain.
Okay.
Just at the bottom of the M32. You know the big blue building?
Okay, yeah.
And I was watching him do it once on a Thursday night, I think it was, and there was a kickboxing club underneath, and they were actually doing the pad work and the sparring.
Okay.
And from there I went into it. But I've always had, like, I don't know, my brain just understands how to fight. And it's not to sound arrogant, but it's just...
There is something about it. There is this thing as fighters DNA. So you things like movement, precision, timing. I think it comes naturally. You can learn certain things like, you know, muscle memory, and through repetition you will learn it. But I think there are some limitations to this.
Yeah, you've got to have the right bone structure and the right core muscles sort of built up a certain way.
And you know, even like elasticity of your joints and ligaments as well for kicking and yeah. Okay, so nothing in particular. You just witnessed your brother.
There was never any traumatic experiences growing up that made me want to fight, or I never had to drag myself out of anything. But
you're exception to a theory.
Obviously you have the stresses, don't you, and those arguments, but it's never been enough to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, never really.
Well, in my case, it's also because I had a lovely upbringing and I was never bullied. If anything, I remember I used to be a bully a little bit, but I hated fighting. Even now, when I talk to my dad, and you know, we talk about other, you know, lots of other things. But when we mention fighting, that Remi is fighting, he says, he looks at me and looks at my brothers, and I said, do you know what, out of all of you, I would never thought that Remi will be fighting. I was usually, you know, really well-mannered, soft-spoken, I avoided conflict at all cost, and it was my other brothers. So it's really unnatural for me to be a fighter. But you know, once I started, I fell in love with it immediately. I mean, my first sessions with you know, survival kickboxing, and I knew that I would love to do that. And I was already in my late 30s, so very late.
See, I started playing rugby. I was playing rugby from the age of about 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah, played rugby for the South Gloucestershire County.
Wow.
And then ended up taking on the kickboxing at about maybe 13, I think it was. But ended up coming to this phase where it was like, you can't do that anymore because you need to focus on your kickboxing. And
it's really hard to split your mind.
Yeah,
you have to be focus on one thing. Yeah. So you started kickboxing really early, and did you have you achieved success early on? If you could look at your first, I don't know, few years of kickboxing, have you had any losses or straight into victories?
I was winning from the go, without sounding arrogant. It happened so fast. The whole like shoot up happened so fast.
Yeah.
I was fighting fully grown men from the age of 15.
Yeah, I think I remember a newspaper article about you, and actually there was a title that a kid smashed an adult.
Yeah. It was. I was blessed with power. Like, that was all it was. Like, technically, it comes in time. Like, you get your technique as the years go on.
Yeah,
but I was very lucky where I could just knock people out, and I had good power. I'd always had that.
Being so successful so early, do you think it has affected you in any way?
Yeah, negatively, to be honest, because you've got your childhood dream in it that you want to be an astronaut or you want to be a fireman. I wanted to be a professional fighter. I wanted to be a world champion, and did it by 18. I was professional. No, 19. I was professional world champion. And then it's like, now I've kind of lost my purpose with myself.
Yeah.
You're like a little fly in a glass jar, just buzzing round now.
So you're saying that you've basically achieved more or less what you wanted to achieve really early on.
There's obviously like there is the glory kickboxing that you want to get to. There's all that, but I'm struggling to motivate myself to get through these things now because I've had a few years off.
Yeah. So can we say that you've lost a little bit of childhood because you were so focused on kickboxing, on a career? I know what it's like when you're a professional fighter. You have to train all the time, and then you spar, you go fight, you travel, and suddenly you're an adult and your childhood is gone.
Yeah, see, I wake up in the morning, run, go to school, get picked up from school, go to the gym, come back, eat, bed, and it was the same thing every day. It was it, but that's what you want at the time. All your friends are going out drinking and doing whatever they're doing, and I was training.
Yeah, well, when you say that, I would love that.
Let's get up and train.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Just wake up, have a run, or cycle, and then go to school. Then my parents to pick me up, take me to the gym, and I can. Oh.
Yeah, I was fortunate that my mum was very supportive of my fighting career.
Yeah, shout out to your mum.
Yeah, shout out to Jane Edmundson. But yeah, she took me everywhere. Like she was a sprinter when she was younger.
Was she?
So she understands the it's possible sort of attitude.
Yeah.
And my dad, it's not that he didn't support me. He wanted me to have a plan B all the time. It's what's your plan B if it all goes wrong? And my attitude was if it doesn't work, I'll kill myself. Like I didn't ever have a plan B.
Yeah, but I guess that's the role of a parent.
Yeah.
Because having 12-year-old now, and whenever I ask him what do you want to do when you grow up, it's all superheroes.
Really?
Batman and things like this. Yeah. Do you think that because you didn't, as you said, you didn't have a lot of things that kids had at the time, you compensate a little bit when you're older now?
Yeah, because you spend your whole life thinking what is on the other side of that coin.
Yeah.
So then it is relaxing more, trying to have a laugh more, like not. Yeah, I don't think I ever will grow up, to be honest. Just stay a man baby forever.
That's great. I think it's the whole concept is called Peter Pan, because Peter Pan, the character from the book, never grows up. It doesn't want to grow old, and that's me as well. I think I'm 41, but I think up there I'm still a 16, 18 year old boy.
Nothing wrong with it, is there? You've got a good job, nice family.
No. So I know you enjoy things like video games, just to take your mind off, stresses of being a fighter and running your gym. But then again, these are the things you didn't have a chance to do when you were younger.
Yeah, see, it was more things like, I don't know, I wasn't really going out drinking when you're 18, everyone's doing that. I've always been one to play computer games and stuff. That's just been my thing. Go out on your bikes and stuff, and like normal kids do. But it was in between those hours. That's when I'd be training.
Yeah. Once you started becoming better and better, you had more fights with tougher opponents, I guess. Was there any point that you thought to yourself, "Ooh, I'm pretty good at it. This actually might be something I can do for a living. This might be my career"? Was there any particular fight that once you won, you looked at your opponent, you looked at all the fans, you look in the corner and you said, "Yeah, this is bloody brilliant. I would love to do that for a living"?
To be honest, I'm still asking these questions now. Can I do it? But we used to go to Wales. Like I said earlier, we were always fighting in Wales, like fighting in Cardiff, and there was this one guy there, and I always kind of looked up to him as the guy. If you could beat him, you're all right then. If you know what I mean, that's the guy. If you can take him, he's like the stepping stone to go further.
Who was it?
A guy called Ryan Martin. Real nice guy though, and we fought. It was one of my first couple of fights really.
Okay.
I beat him on points. It was a really hard fight, and that was when I kind of thought to myself, like, you can do it, But his coaches, you had Lee Baldwin and Paul Plumley. He's not with us anymore, sadly. He's not long passed away, Paul. But they were the first kind of guys, along with my trainer, Mike O'Connor at the time. But they were telling me to pursue it as a career, like they said you could do it.
Okay.
And they're the guys really that did spark it, those three.
When was it? How old were you at the time?
I was 15, 16.
Okay.
My first full contact fight was about 15, 16, so I'd probably still that sort of age group. Because I was fighting pretty much every week when I was an amateur.
That's again, because we haven't mentioned it. Despite being very young, 27, you've had over 100 fights.
Yeah.
That sort of record that people who retire have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the wealth of experience that you've got, plus technique and speed and power and youth as well, because you're relatively young, that puts you way ahead of the competition. Because these days with with diets and your approach to training, you can be high level fighter until you're 35,
John Wayne Parr.
nearly 40.
Yeah.
Exactly. John Wayne Parr
He's
is
an absolute beast.
he's coming back.
Is he?
He's coming back.
God.
Because he had his retirement fight, boxing. I think it was boxing fight.
He had a boxing match, yeah.
He's training
He's coming
again.
back.
It's unbelievable, and you have like Mayweather as well. I mean,
I think if you're winning, if there's nothing wrong with your body, you keep going, don't you? Like
and
you
obviously, I think the biggest story is Mike Tyson training again, and he's in his early 50s.
I couldn't tell you, but yeah, he's at...
But have you seen the?
Yeah, he's still got it, mate.
Oh my God, he looks the speed, power. I mean, the fire in his eyes. He's still got it, and he's 51.
Yeah.
It might be because of all the weed he's smoking as well, because he's got
his own farm, hasn't he?
he's got his farm, or on a farm as well. Yeah. Kids don't do drugs. Yeah.
No.
So once you turned professional, how old were you then?
I was 19.
19.
Yeah, 19 I was, yeah.
When I look back and think what I used to do when I was 19, it's just crazy to become a professional kickboxer. It's just mind-blowing. And obviously, you had to go out of UK. So you traveled the world. I know you went to China, and I know you went all over Europe as well. What would you say was your toughest challenge? And talk me through it in quite detail. Not just maybe the opponent, but maybe the place you had to go, maybe the way they treated you,
Yeah.
the circumstances. Because I've traveled a little bit in the UK for fights, and yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, sometimes you're welcomed, and you know the level of hospitality and people welcoming you, it's amazing. But sometimes it's the complete opposite, and it affects you the way you perform later on. So what do you think was your biggest challenge?
Biggest challenge was probably going to Denmark, to be honest. But you can only go off of how it looks to you, can't you? You don't.
Yeah.
They probably want the case, but we got to Denmark. You're obviously cutting weight. You're dying, aren't you? You're hanging, making all this weight come off. Got to Denmark. The taxi driver that picked us up was ill. It was one of the ladies from their gym.
Okay.
It's all conspiracy theories. Like you're nervous, aren't you? This fight week, you're not all there, are you? You're not of sound mind. And the taxi driver's ill, so then you're thinking you're going to get ill because your immune system's low. We pull up to the weigh-in. We have the weigh-in, it's done. The guy's gone now. He's now hydrating and eating. They've left me there for an extra an extra hour. We're all sat in the venue waiting now to eat. Luckily, I brought supplies. We're then taken to a kebab house where it's like greasy food. It's nothing. I didn't think it was anything personal, but that's what you're going through, innit, before the fight. So your hydration in food after a month-long weight cut is greasy kebab, all that sort of stuff. And then the fight itself, we're in the changing rooms. They wouldn't let me have. It was full contact kickboxing, so you wear the moon boots.
Yeah.
And the shin pads. They wouldn't let me go without shin pads. But as far as I was aware, as a professional, you don't have to wear the shin pads, just the boots. So I had the kickboxing boot, the Thai boxing shin and instep on as well. So it was like massive weights on my legs. They wouldn't let me wrap my hands properly, so they made us use like literal bandages. You know the hand wraps you have.
Okay. Yeah.
But ended up he actually had built up wraps with the bumpers in them. And then the guy before me was another guy from the UK, and he broke his arm the fight before. He come back to the change room with this bone in his arm had snapped, so he comes sitting there like that. And as I was warming up, this bone just goes out of his arm. And then your head's gone, isn't it? And then the fight's happening. He swept my leg out, and you've got your MCL down that side of the haven't you?
Is this fight on YouTube?
Yeah.
I remember it.
Yeah.
I watched it many years ago when I started training with you, and I was just researching your name on YouTube. That looked horrible. I hate
the whole
sweeps.
experience was nasty.
I hate sweeps.
Yeah, I was walking to the ring after seeing this guy's arm broken. Like, do you know what? I don't really fancy this one. Like, I was just head's gone. Then you've got to try and formulate a game plan straight away.
Oh.
And it all just went wrong for me there. They think it's all written in the stars. It's your destiny to win. It just proves it's not.
No,
You've got to go out there and get it. Like, you can't. Fate, God ain't gonna help you for a fight. It's you and him have a fight, and you've got to win. It's not. You can't put it down to fate and the stars aligning.
No.
And I learnt that lesson that day. Like, it's not destined for you to win or lose.
Definitely not. And actually, this brings us really smoothly to mental health, because that genuinely affected your
My state of mind.
your state of mind. And obviously, recently there's a lot of research. We have sports psychologists now. So if you're high level athlete or any sort of fighter, even footballer, you're expected to see a sports psychologist, because we now we now know that it's at least 50-50, your body and your mind.
Maybe more.
Maybe even
more in
more.
the brain. For me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously you need to have a very strong body. You need to have technique. You need to put hours into the training. But when your head is not there, it's pointless. It will not work. How's your psychology into going into fight? Do you have any sort of weird patterns that you have to follow? Any sort of, are you superstitious with certain things?
Nah, but I hate fighting. Hate it. And I'll openly admit I was just good at my job. That's literally it.
Yeah.
I was good at my job, but I could talk myself out of a fight within seconds, and then I was very, very weak in my brain when it came to fighting. My body was strong. I could knock people out. I was efficient. I could take a hit, but it was my brain that let me down the most. And anyone I say that this followed my career and knew me in that environment, in the gym sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be that one little thing. I did, like, for instance, you see this arm broken or can't wear my wraps. I'm tired, which you're always gonna be tired. It's the mental energy draining out of you, isn't it? I need a pee before I fight, or
I go to the toilet like every 2 minutes.
It's a funny story, Remi.
Go on.
For the airweaves is I was fighting for a world title eliminator, and just before I went to the ring, just before I walked out the ring, I went to one of my listen, and just let one rip, and it
No way!
it went a bit wrong, Remi. So I fought in a world title eliminator with shitty pants.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you
But
win?
we won. Yeah, it's all right.
Oh God.
There's an exclusive.
But is there anything? Because obviously you need to have some sort of method to overcome this little voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough. The other guy has trained a little bit harder than you. What are your methods? Because I still haven't found mine. What I will say, that all of the fights that we had together, so when you were in my corner, it was you.
Thank you.
You just kept me going, because I had so many doubts, just like you. Oh my God, look at this guy. He's got a bigger six pack, or he's taller, so he's gonna have longer reach, and I'll struggle to get in. The more you try to get rid of these voices, the more they weigh on your shoulders, and it's so hard. And I think you even told me a couple of times that you've seen the second I started doubting. So you can see it in someone's posture, or even in their eyes, that in this split second they lost faith in themselves. But I think when we're in Sheffield, literally 5 minutes later, you told me that you've noticed the spark come back.
Yeah.
So it's just so hard. So do you have any?
See, me as a person, I'll go down the rabbit hole with things. I'll keep, this could happen with this could equal this, and just keep going forward. And when say you're going out to the ring, is if I'm training you, I'm looking at what can we get to the point where he can't actually do anything to beat you, because the things that what you're worried about, he might left hook me and knock me out. So I'm going to make that right by keep my right hand up, or he's going to kick my leg, so I'm going to do this. That's all you've got to do. And that's all I did to get you guys through it. Is if you've got a problem, think of a solution within that split second. But for myself, it's a lot more difficult, because I'm telling you, and I would hope you trusted me, sort of thing. But I was always just worried. Yeah. I'd always worry. I couldn't trust myself when it comes to my doubts. Like, I just couldn't ever do it. Excuse me.
And it's really hard, because we fight amateurs. You fight, the highest.
Yeah,
level.
they're all fit. They're all strong. They're all hungry. Then it's just who's going to execute their game plan more efficiently,
or who will have better mental health.
Yeah.
It's who will stay strong and keep resilience and determination to the highest level. Yeah. But as I say, you as a coach, I see other coaches, other fighters getting prepared, and you're really honest in what you do, very humble, and you tell us the things you want to hear as you fight.
Yeah.
There's always, Remi, come on, we'll do it. We'll do. You're the best. You're gonna knock him out. Second round, you'll see. It's gonna happen. It doesn't always go like to according to the plan, and there are some losses, but you just challenge accepted, overcome, and you get up and carry on.
Yeah,
I guess
it's happening. And whatever you want to say about it, the event's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I was always told by guys that train me, it's not worth worrying about till you're stood opposite this guy in the ring.
Yeah.
And by then it's too late. Because I was always told things could happen, like the lights fail in the arena, or someone could drop a bomb on us and blow us all up, or anything could happen. You could break your ankle walking to the ring.
Yeah.
So realistically, until you're in there, anything could happen, couldn't it?
Yeah. And I think what helped me, and I know that Gary, Tom, Dave, all the guys that fight for you, they will say that your wealth of experience has always helped us, because you know what it feels like.
Yeah, realistically.
To be walking out there stressed, literally shitting your pants, having all these doubts in your head. And very often people don't realize that just to walk out and get in the ring, it takes so much courage as well. There isn't a lot of people in the world that fight. There's a tiny group of people that choose this sport. It's such a weird sport.
You don't know why you do it, but you can't help it, can you?
Yeah, do you know what?
And I think that in the gym, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Why am I sat with a pair of gloves on? That guy wants to knock my head off. He would kill me if he could. What are you doing?
Do you know what usually happens? I look at my gloves before the fight, and they usually shrink a little bit.
And his get bigger.
And I think that my gloves are slightly smaller than his. And it's just, I know it's in my head.
Yeah.
I know it's my head, but it's just, again, it shows how your brain can play tricks on you.
But you'll
and
find
can influence the fight.
Yeah, and it can. There's times I could honestly say I've known whether I'm going to win or lose walking into that fight, just by my own headspace.
Yeah.
It's madness.
Yeah. Now I wanted to ask you about injuries, because I know I've seen a lot of injuries, and I've only been kickboxing for about 3 years, and I've seen split out eyebrows, broken legs, broken fingers, etc., etc. Have you been in trouble with any serious injuries in your career?
Fought for a world title, busted my hand. The day after, me and my trainer like knuckle fracture. Yeah, nothing major, but it's enough to sort of stop you doing things for a bit. Then we flew out to Thailand the next day, did a month's training camp in Thailand. Come back
with fractured.
Yeah, came back. I think it was the day after we got back, we flew out to Jersey and had a fight in Jersey. Like, just crazy dealing with those injuries. One of them, my metatarsals in my feet have fused together. Like, these two are fused together in my foot. Broken toes, bruised ribs, eye swelled shut in a fight from getting kneed in the face.
Oh God!
My tuft's gone through my lip. The last fight I had 3 years ago, got kneed in the face. My tuft's gone through my lip. Oh, that's dead right there now.
Because I haven't had so many fights, and obviously I'm an amateur kickboxer, but I've had pretty bad injuries in the past, and
yeah,
actually
you have to be fair.
and actually, my first loss, obviously my opponent was bloody amazing because they won. He managed to keep the distance, and he basically dismantled me. But I had two really serious injuries, but I was afraid to tell anyone, and I didn't tell you that they bothered me so much. So I had I think it was a snapped ligament in my knuckle, and then I had something wrong with my big toe, because I caught bloody Dave's knee literally a couple of weeks before the fight, and when your foot is not working properly, you can't move. There's problem with timing. You can't punch. There's no power in your punches or kicks. So and I had my eyebrow split a couple times. Being such a short ass, I usually go for the body, and obviously I will catch that knee, and I did on 3 occasions. Same spot. There is a big scar here, and I think this place is compromised now. So whenever I get punched slightly harder, it bleeds a little bit. But do I spar? Hell, I do. I love it.
It's just, again, you don't know why you do it, do you? what is the point in all these injuries? What are we doing? But you love it, don't you, at the same time?
It's so addictive, isn't it? And it's friendships. It's getting to know people like Gary, like Tommy and Dave and and Terry D. It's just amazing. It is like family, especially Bearpit, because it's such a small club. We literally train in, how big is it?
5 by 5 meters.
5 by 5.
Thing is,
gym.
I wanted to test myself as a coach. So when we had that big gym, it stopped, and I just wanted to see if I could do it out of a small box with just a set of pads and some dumbbells. So with you guys, no one can take away what you've got. You can't blame it on they've got all this fancy equipment. They've got these showers and hair dryers in their gym. You've done it as a team in a box, like a prison cell, isn't it?
It is.
It
is.
This is why when people can talk about you, they can't discredit what you've done, and that's what I wanted from our gym. I wanted to make sure that we can sit back now and talk about it like this. Or we did it with nothing, just bodies and pads.
Yeah.
We didn't have thousands of pounds of equipment, did we?
And amazing guidance from you. I think
Thank you.
that's a massive part of it. Now there was one particular night in my life, the Sheffield fight that has I think, apart from 2 nights where my kids were born, this was without a doubt the most amazing night in my life, because I won this amateur kickboxing belt, but it was a big night for you as well.
Yeah,
because we had three of your fighters fighting. We all won. It was just such an amazing experience. So Gary, Tommy, and myself. What did it mean to you to have a belt, a proper belt, as a gym?
Yeah, well, again, like, we were doing it out of that box, and it's probably one of the proudest moments of my life as well, to be fair. I had a miniature breakdown when you got out of the ring. Grabbed hold of my trainer at the time, just bawling my eyes out like a baby on him.
I will never forget it.
Yeah,
because again, talking about mental health, once you get there, the event is organized by the gym of my opponent.
Late notice,
because I was supposed to fight another guy, but there was some sort of issues with his wrist, I think, so it was cancelled. And then you messaged me, Remi, do you want a title fight in 10 days? But you have to make 61 kilograms. I said, okay, let's do it.
we did it.
And then all the journey to Sheffield, way in before the fight, we slept in one bed, didn't we?
We don't speak about that, they run.
and then Gary goes in, he wins. Tommy goes in, he smashes the guy.
Yeah.
And then I have all of this weight. It's just, at that point, I thought I just want to just run.
Yeah, again, what are we doing?
Run to the car and go back to Bristol and hug my family. And I don't want to fight any more in my life. But you were there. Come on, Remi. Encouraging me, keeping me positive. And I did it. So it was an amazing night. And yeah, I'll remember it forever. And I can't wait. To get back to the gym, to our 5x5 gym and start training again. What is the future
for me?
For Ryan and Bearpit? If you could, I don't know, imagine 5 years from now.
5 years time. Personally, I'd like a big gym. You get your American top teams over in America, that sort of style of gym. I'd like one of those, more to the sense where it's a community centre as well, where it's not just the gym. We've got a little cinema there, a little, let's say, a soft play area, somewhere where kids can come and just chill and not be on the streets. I know it's very cliche, but I don't want to be defined by the martial arts on its own. I want to bring a good mindset, and I want to breed nice, happy people coming through the gym.
Okay.
I want to build instructors that are passing on knowledge. I want to build mentors. I want to build a good community of people around it, because fighting is a very selfish thing, and I want to bring on something else from the fighting. It's a part of your life, isn't it?
what would be the perfect scenario with your professional career?
My career.
Perfect scenario.
Yeah, I'm with Dean now, and it'd be nice if I could go up, see those guys a bit more, get my confidence back, have a couple of fights, and push to glory. Like, get on there and just do it. Like, that's
So is glory your
yeah, I want to
ultimate goal?
reach the absolute pinnacle of the sport, because it was hard for me, because there's people you cling to. That's your, obviously I said my dad, not that he didn't support me, his life goes other places. He works doing engineering and things. He was an electrician, so he's not part of a sporting community.
Yeah.
So I was looking at these guys training me as my father figures, and there comes points where you need to go and move on to the next club, or you need to do something else where that's your father figures, then oh, he's not that good anyway, and things like that. And it does build that anxiety in your head of trusting people. And I've now got people behind me with nothing to gain. They're nice people. I've had a good career, and I've met some amazing people.
Yeah.
And I want to have one little go at it, just as a thank you to everyone that's helped me. We got there. We did make it.
You're far from retiring. I mean, you can go on for another 10 years.
Yeah.
Easily. I mean, with technology, and with diets, and medicine, you can go on for a long time. Yeah, but the thing I think we haven't mentioned, because you said coaches, you were approached by big guy from Holland,
Mike Passon.
Mike. Yeah. So
Yes, he I was kind of finished with fighting, really, so I got my contract written up to have my big unit in Chipping Sodbury, the Bearpit I had in there. And while I was painting out, I got an offer to fight Andre Winner, who fought on the Ultimate Fighter tournament, didn't he? And I thought, well, do you know what, I'll take that. And doing 5 rounds of pads a day while painting in the gym, it just wasn't an ideal training camp. And I fought on the same show Paul Daly was on, and Big Mike was there, and all those guys. And I think someone might have had a word of him telling him, or asking him if he could do anything to help me. And he rang me the next day asking if I would come over to stay in Holland with him, but I'd signed the contract to the gym and I couldn't. And part of me does regret it, to be honest.
Damn it.
Yeah, I do. But that's just life, isn't it?
Yeah, no
what
point
can you do?
Crying over
and it's
spilled
not
milk.
like it's not one to boast about it, but I do not regret it, but it's upsetting to think where you could have gone, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If I would have lived in Holland, but there's arguments my trainers at the time were saying you probably wouldn't have liked it anyway, living in a house full of, like, they're animals, aren't they? Just fighters, just beasts.
Yeah, well, taking into consideration your attitude.
Yeah, as I am.
As you are.
I'm not a fighter. I was just good at my job.
Are you a lover?
Yeah, big lover.
Ryan, thanks so much. I really wish all the luck with the baby boy.
Thank you.
I'm sure he's going to be a beast. You're amazing with kids, so you're going to be an amazing dad. And yeah, let's hope this bloody virus goes away in a few months, and we're allowed to train again, so you can restart your gym, and you can start training for your fights as well.
Thank you.
And I want to fight as well, as soon as possible.
Yeah. You've had a bit of bad luck with it, haven't you?
Yeah. But yeah, I still love it, and I think despite my age, I still have it. Who knows?
You have, Remi.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Thank you.